everyone! Unfortunately, today is Wednesday, which means that I didn't upload on a Tuesday. So if you feel like punishing me, put it in the comments and I'll choose one and record it for you all. On the other hand, today's video is about the most googled how-to questions in every state in the United States, so here goes. Alabama wants to know how to draw a dog. You know, what I do know of drawing is that generally it takes a pencil, paper, some lines in the shape of a dog, and then you have a dog. Alaska wants to know how to fish. You know, with my very limited fishing knowledge, I can't really tell you much, but I do know it takes a pole with some fishing line on it and you throw it into the water and you cross your fingers and you hope that a fish bites. Arizona wants to know how to make horchata. I have no idea. I had to Google this one. It looks like you make it out of like sesame seeds and rice type thing. Arkansas wants to know how to add fractions together. This is something I actually do know. So for example, let's say you have 1/2 and 1/4. And you take the 1/2 and you multiply it by 2 and 2 on the bottom so that the bottoms both match with the number 4, and then you add them together and then you get 3/4. California wants to know how to play Stairway to Heaven. I'm not even sure. Maybe ask Led Zeppelin? Colorado wants to know how to play backgammon. Clearly, Colorado wants the answers to the deep philosophical questions of life. Connecticut wants to know how to be pretty. I have no clue. Delaware wants to know how to get away with murder. Now, you didn't hear it from me, but there's a really good hiding spot like near the Home Depot. Florida wants to know how to get out of Florida. Well, you know, there's multiple ways: boat, train, plane, bus, car. Georgia wants to know how to hotwire a car. That is one thing I'm okay with not knowing. Hawaii wants to know how to be a ninja. There's not a whole lot I can tell you. I've been sworn to secrecy. Idaho wants to know how to address a letter. Generally it goes something like this: Dear letter. Illinois wants to know how to be a superhero. You know, I think I have some friends I can ask about that, so I'll ask them and I'll let you know. Indiana wants to know how to be popular. I am definitely not the foremost expert on that, but you can ask Kristen Chenoweth. She understands. The state of Iowa wants to know how to screenshot something. Most phones, it's a home button and power button click at the same time. I know on Samsungs you slide your hand across the screen, but that's only on some Samsungs. So yeah, just look at your phone and try to figure it out. Kansas wants to know how to find Kansas. I really hope you can answer that question on your own because I don't know how to help you. Kentucky wants to know how to grow a beard. I'm also not the foremost expert on that, so I would find someone with a beard in your life and I would ask them how they grew it. Louisiana wants to know how to levitate. My advice is to be a character in some fantasy world where levitation is possible. Maine wants to know how to get rid of fruit flies. My best advice is to get a frog. Maryland wants to know how to crab. So I actually know the answer to this question. We used to put meat into bags and then put them into a crabbing pot where the crabs go in through the door but they can't go out, and then you pull up the buoy with the rope on it, and then you get a whole bunch of crabs. Massachusetts wants to know how to quit your job. Generally, it goes along the lines of something like this: I quit. Michigan wants to know how to be a better person. No, I don't have an answer to that. I'm still working on that myself, so good luck. The state of Minnesota wants to know how to quilt. I personally don't even know how to quilt, but the ladies at my church do, and they're really fantastic at it, so if you ever need a quilt, just come ask the people at my church. Mississippi wants to know how to gain weight. You know what I found works best is junk food. Missouri wants to know how to raise chickens. Well, I would say to pick up the chicken and then you lift it in the air, as in raise the chicken. Montana wants to know how to hard boil eggs. I believe it goes something like you put water in a pot, you put the pot on the stove, you put the eggs in the water with the shell on them, and then you let them boil for a long time, and then you take them out and then you eat them. Nebraska wants to know how to fly a plane. You know, my best friend's dad flies planes. I bet I could ask him. Nevada wants to know how to survive a zombie apocalypse. You know, I would go to the sci-fi classes at my high school right now because they're doing this really fun zombie apocalypse thing and they probably know all about it, so go ask one of them. New Hampshire wants to know how to fall asleep. I hope you've known how to fall asleep your entire life, but you know, if you don't, I'm so sorry. New Jersey wants to know how to rob a bank. I'm a little concerned for you, New Jersey. New Mexico wants to know how to draw a rose. You know, similar to the dog thing, I think it takes pencil, paper, lines in the shape of a rose, and then you have a rose. New York wants to know how to get a raise. You know, I haven't had a job, so I can't really speak to this, so I would just try to figure it out yourself. North Carolina wants to know how to be awesome. You know, North Carolina, if you figure it out, please tell me. North Dakota wants to know how to get a passport. You know, I don't really know. I have one, I just don't know where I got it. Ohio wants to know how to buy a home. You know, from my limited experience, I can tell you that it involves the exchange of money for a house. Oklahoma wants to know how to eat fried worms. Now, I would assume that you fry the worms first and then you put them in your mouth and then you chew and swallow, but I don't know why you want to eat fried worms in the first place. Oregon wants to know how to make floral arrangements. That's probably better left to the professionals. Pennsylvania wants to know how to get a cat. You know, if they could tell me how to get a cat, I would love that. Rhode Island wants to know how to make an igloo. You know, true story, my family and I actually tried to make an igloo once when it snowed here, and it was really difficult. South Carolina wants to know how to be yourself. The best advice I can give you is to not care what other people think. South Dakota wants to know how to be single. Let me tell you, I got a whole list of things that'll make you single. Tennessee wants to know how to make extra money. I would say making extra money requires getting an extra job. Texas wants to know how to bathe a cat. I say good luck to you all. It involves water and cats, and I think that's all you need to know. Utah wants to know how to train your dragon. I don't know, Toothless, what do you think? Vermont wants to know how to kayak. The general motion is something like this, and you like push yourself in the water. Virginia wants to know how to irritate people. In past experience, I found that poking them repeatedly works really well. Washington wants to know how to cook a wolf. I'm also very concerned for my home state. West Virginia wants to know how to play the guitar. I don't know how to play the guitar. I play the ukulele, but I do have a friend in psychology who does play guitar, and he's pretty good at it, so I would ask him. Wisconsin wants to know how to impeach a governor. My first advice is to give him a lot of peaches. And finally, Wyoming wants to know how to play Pokemon Go. But really, Wyoming, who even plays Pokemon Go anymore? So that was all 50 states and their most googled how-to questions for 2016. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm so sorry I uploaded it on a Wednesday. As I promised in my last video, I'll record a punishment, so please leave your punishments in the comments. Alright, this is me signing off. I'll see you next Tuesday.
So it takes hot sauce and manhood. That's how you grow a beard.